With more than 70% of the vote, Democrat Alex Lee won California's state assembly race for the 25th district. Lee is just 25 years old and a trailblazer on numerous fronts.
I have the honor and distinction of being the youngest Asian American legislator ever, the youngest legislator in almost a century, and the first openly bisexual state legislator, as well as the first member of the Gen Z generation to be a state legislator.
Lee has worked as a legislative policy advisor and also served as student body president of the University of California, Davis. With immigrant parents from Hong Kong, he was born and raised in San Jose, the third largest city in California. He still lives in the same house he grew up in.
The only way I could even live in the Bay Area back in my home community while working for the state assembly was to live at home with my mom. And that is the reality so many people in my generation and even older generations are facing right now, where housing is so unaffordable for people who grew up here or want to find a home here in the Bay Area. And that's why it's a #1 priority for me to make sure that the human right of housing should be realized for everyone, especially in such a wealthy state as ours, in the 5th largest economy in the world. You know, 1 in 5 Californians pay more than half of their income pre-COVID to just housing.
Lee's also done some work involving part-time driving in the gig economy. He didn't have a good experience. That's partly why he opposed Prop 22, a California ballot measure that allowed ride-sharing companies to avoid classifying its drivers as full-time employees.
Big tech companies have essentially bought their own legal carve-outs. It makes it so much harder for the folks who are just scraping pennies on this exploitive work system, and I feel really badly for them.
While campaigning prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, Lee says he knocked on 30,000 doors to get support. He's pledged to never take donations from corporations.
We are introducing a bill to root out corporate money in our democracy by prohibiting corporate contributions to candidates, as well as establishing a publicly financed election system, and that's going to be acted on day 1.
Lee says one of his role models is progressive Bernie Sanders, who also endorsed Lee during his campaign. He now hopes to inspire more Asian Americans to enter the political arena.
It's my responsibility to make sure there's more Asian Americans who are progressive, who are getting into local office, federal office, or even state office. And it's important to make sure that we have adequate representation at every level of government.
That means no fossil fuel.
Mark New, CGTN, San Jose, California.